Sometimes on our websites, we want to display a whole series of images in like a gallery format so that people might be able to sort through them or see them either in a grid or in a continuation of being able to click and it scrolls horizontally to be able to see that. Divi has a module called the gallery module that allows us to be able to put together a set of images that we would like to show to people all together. Good uses for this, for those of you who are in my website template program, is to be able to use something to be able to show like a retreat area, like all of the different images for the housing or around the retreat or the follow up to it. There's a ton of uses for this. Your horses, your farm. I mean, honestly, there's a ton of uses. So the first thing we're going to do to get ready for this is we're going to add just a regular section. Okay. And we only need one row for this module. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then I'm going to come down here and find the gallery module and go ahead and click on it. So here's my gallery module box, and you'll notice that this little thing down here is going to load, and it's going to keep loading for a little bit. So we're going to come here and add some images. We're just going to click plus. That's going to open up the media library. If we wanted to upload files, we could do that here. Whoops, I don't want that one because I know that's a big file. We're going to select these guys right along the board here. So we're going to select all of these images and we're going to go ahead and click on select. And these are going to be the images that are in our gallery module, and you'll see them appear down here. You'll see there's the file name underneath it. We can hide that, by the way. We can also reorder them. So if we want to put the rooster first, we can just drag them around in here and it'll reorder them, and you'll see it'll load down here. And now the rooster is the first picture. So let's go ahead and work on some ways to make this look more appropriate. First of all, if you have names of your images like this that are like mine, you probably don't want to show that. So let's go ahead and hide the title and the caption. If you've gone in and captioned and titled your images, it might have something here that might have use. In this case, we're just going to hide it. Pagination is this right here. If you look where my mouse is at, it's the fact that I chose more images that are going to display on this particular gallery, and this will allow people to do next and move those images over. So let me scroll up here and I'll show you on the images. I can have an image count that is for, if I change this, I think I chose 5 images. Yep. So the 5th image is going to come down here to the bottom, and then it's going to be 1 or 2 pages here. So let's go with 4 because 4 is the columns across. Okay, so let's go into design and we can choose layout. So we have a grid or we have a slider. If we choose slider, it's going to show one image at a time, really big, with the ability to move the images on over. I'm going to go back to grid because most of you guys are going to use grid. You can use the thumbnail orientation as landscape or portrait. Most of the images that I chose in this case were landscape images to begin with, so the first one would make sense, but let me show you this. If you changed that, what it would look like. It's going to take my computer a second to get that loaded just because my internet is a little on the slow side. So here's where I need the soundboard that plays the Jeopardy theme. So let's just give it a second. So on these, you can also have an overlay. There we go. You can see it just goes ahead and crops the images. I'm going to take this back to landscape again because that's what the images mostly look like. I also can allow an overlay here. So just I'll turn that on, and this is what turns that plus sign a different color. Like look at the chicken is now that color. If I actually make it orange, it'll be orange. I can make it green, it'll turn to green. And then overlay background color will turn it to a solid color. You can make that if you want it to be hoverable and seeable. Whoops, that could stay like that. This is the opacity. And then that's going to show through like so. It's an interesting effect. You can play with that a lot. This is the current icon. If you want to make it a different icon, you can select a different icon here. should select that so it turns the icon to a different thing. All right, we can look at the image if we want that image to have rounded corners. Let's go with 100 pixels for the rounded corners. So now it makes all of them look pill-shaped if that's part of what you want to do. You can add your border, hues, all of these things. You can work with blend modes here if you have a background. You can change the style of the text and of the title text that goes underneath it, the style of the pagination or the caption text, the sizing and the padding around the whole module itself, the border around the whole module itself. So a lot of different options here. I just wanted to give you the basics. Now I'm going to go ahead and click the checkbox here. And this is what it looks like. On the screen when it displays, the user will be able to hit next and it'll show whatever the rest of the images are. The horizontal one, like I have up here that shows the 4 images and then has the pagination to slide, is really effective if you've got maybe 10 or 15 images that you want to show people, but you don't want to take up all of that real estate on your page. It's a very effective way to do it. Once you have images, if you want to come back in and delete an image or put a new image in, you click the plus sign to add an image. And if you want to take an image out, you can just hit the trash can and that image will get removed from the gallery. So you can come back in here and change these as you see fit to be able to use them. If you change retreat locations or something, you can come back in here and alter how this looks. All right, that is the gallery module. It's a fun module to be able to use. I do suggest that you put it in its own section. That way you can move it around on your page if you would like to. And it will always be probably in its own row, if not in its own section. Just make sure you can alter it the way that you want to get it on your page design without having to do a lot of extra stuff. I always put them in sections so that they're available for me to move around the page as I see fit. All right, have some fun with the gallery module. Use it to help your users understand what your place looks like or what a place that they would be going looks like, or just to enjoy some really cool images of your work or your animals or your products or your services.